G'day, guys. It is so good to be with you here today for what might actually go and be the final dedicated FNT webinar. It's a little bit of a pensive sort of moment because, it was only 6 months ago that, we went and had the whitelist fully announced, but we still haven't gone and had a net here for this year's presentation. So we may, just may, but that's yet to go and be decided. But look, ladies and gentlemen, if you can, please go and put a big plus in the chat. If you're feeling great, if you're feeling excited, if you can see me correctly, hear me A-okay, get those plus signs in. Just a little bit of housekeeping as well, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Tom. Just a little bit of housekeeping. This presentation will only go and be in English, as we are still waiting for translators to go and come on back to go and have it in multiple languages. I know we've got a lot of Spanish partners here today. Don't stress, I have one of your very own representatives who will go and get these slides at the very end so that it can go and be translated into Espanol. That being said, if you do speak both English and also a native tongue, feel free to go and hit me up, and I'd be more than happy to go and send the slides so that you guys can go and get it out to your communities as well. But look, without further ado, if we can go to next slide, let's just go and see here right now, because I know that there were a few people who were watching the FNT webinars with Valentin last night for the first time. So put a 10 in the chat if this is the first time that you've seen any FNT or anything to go and do with the fintech world ecosystem. No? Okay, so everyone should know me by now. But just for YouTube's sake, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Aidan Ward. I am one of the representatives of the local leader council here in Australia. But more importantly, I'm the former project manager of Global Unit Pay, and that's probably where my level of expertise on this topic goes and comes from, based on the 1.5-year term that I've actually worked very closely with the CEO for FNT and Global Unit Pay, being Valentin Sokolnikov. Also, I do suppose I'm the Oceania representative, although that is coming to a close very, very shortly, which is a little bit daunting, but also very exciting at the same time. So next slide, please. So let's go and recap, because this is the first one that we've gone and had since the new year. And Annette, who isn't here today, unfortunately, she's still in Mexico. We went and had this idea to go and follow the Golden Circle, which is an old presentation that Simon Sinek went and did, I believe, at one of these TED Talks in 2009. And what it goes and follows is really discussing the big why and the big purpose and the big picture, the thing that really goes and gravitates and, resonates within a person's, being. If you can go and see where a project is headed in terms of the goal, the vision, the purpose, then you're more likely to go and, really vibe with it. You can really go and see the similarities, and it's a lot easier to go and be, emotionally invested in the purpose. And for FNT, basically, we're going to go and cover today, out of, the saturation that is the cryptosphere at the moment, with over 22,000 different cryptocurrencies that you can jump onto CoinMarketCap and invest in today. Why is FNT so special? And why is it something that has gotten a lot of people within the cryptosphere very, very excited? So that's going to be covered today, first and foremost. After we've discussed the why, we're going to move straight into the how, the tools, the operations, the mechanisms, the components, and what we're going to go and do to go and solve the problem that goes and comes with, where we kind of are at in the digital space. And then probably one of my favorites as well is actually talking about the really cool parts of the FNT ecosystem that will go and put more power in your hands and more financial independence in your pocket, the way that it is designed to, the way that the tokenomics go and actually discuss, the way that everything has been put together to really give everyone the best chance at financial freedom and financial independence, being the very first rule of the 8 rules of a private investor. So next slide, please. So we can just go and skim over this, ladies and gentlemen, but you know, to be quite honest, this is a message that's come directly from you know, the heart and the soul and, you know, the mind of Valentin. And the real importance with Valentin is that he spent so much time working on the global portfolio, you know, during the golden days of 2019 through to 2020, if you're going to go and talk about before moving into global Unipay. So he's seen really every single aspect of the financial world. He's seen, you know, and he was trained and he was taught with the expertise that came with traditional finance and traditional investments. But now, over the last, you know, 5 odd years, he's really gone and immersed himself in the crypto sphere, the digital assets, the contemporary, the avant-garde, ever-evolving industry that is fintech. And if you have gone and read, you know, this blurb multitude of times, I definitely believe that, you know, if you jump onto the white paper and have a read in your own time, you're really going to go in and get a look inside, you know, the head of someone who has gone and played such an important and pivotal role within, you know, the entire company's development. And I'm not just referring to Global Unipay or FNT. Next slide, please. So the mission and the vision is very, very important. And we're going to go and keep it very, very simple, right? Basically, the mission is to go and find a way that we can go and bridge the traditional financial services that have gone and ruled the roost over the last, you know, 200 odd years, right? But also go and create a safe, secure space so that we can create a thriving environment for those people who may have been on the edge of cryptocurrency, maybe been on the edge of staking and are just waiting for the right project to go and rear its head that goes and gives them the confidence to take that plunge. And, you know, it's super, super important that it is done, not important, fitting that it is done within the Swiss jurisdiction, which goes and prides confidentiality and security, you know, with the utmost importance, right? And so by connecting people with fintech and blockchain, making things so very easy to use and easy to understand so that it's not intimidating for, you know, someone who may not be as seasoned as some of us when it comes to digital asset investing, you know, and then also providing that safe environment that goes and protects their funds and protects that risk that they've gone and, you know, really fought within themselves in order to take that leap. And that needs to go and be nurtured and taken with the utmost care. Does that make sense, guys? Put a 1 in the chat if that makes sense for you. Not seeing any love hearts, not seeing any fire emojis either. Yeah, there we go. I knew Tom would go and carry it. Thanks, buddy. Hey, Trinidad, Arnold, lovely, fantastic. So the mission is basically to go and create a safe, secure, easy to use space that goes in and allows a mass adoption environment. And our vision is to go and create a holistic ecosystem where everyone can go and benefit from all aspects within financial technologies, as well as traditional financial services as well. Next slide, please. So we know the problem, right? With things changing so ever rapidly, you know, it's crazy to, you know, fathom that only 10 years ago, we were first starting to go and hear whispers of the old BTC, right? And we still didn't really understand the full concept, but, you know, there was a lot of excitement and a lot of hype surrounding that. And in that 10 years, things have just gotten so convoluted and complicated. And there's almost like a a war between the financial services or the different realms of financial services. You have the traditional, you know, I suppose realm, which is trying to go and still take hold of, you know, their prominence and their relevance, while everything's just changing and evolving, and people are finding new ways to go and, you know, develop platforms that create wealth, you know, for the everyday man. And that's a little bit daunting, you know. Cryptocurrency and digital assets, it really was designed for the people, rather than, you know, the institution that has gone and preceded us for so long. So we know that there is this war, and we need to go and ensure that we can go and have a platform, not just a coin, but a platform, a concept, an ecosystem that goes and takes the best of both worlds, so that we can go and create a harmonious environment so that everyone goes and thrives, which is what we all want, right? Put some love heart. Yeah, there we go. There's a love heart. Love it. You guys knew that was coming. Next slide, please. So really the solution to this is that, you know, because of the ever constant changing needs of humanity, and the necessities that come with the digitized and the global market, we absolutely need to go and merge everything together with borderless, up-to-date and efficient and effective solutions. You know, 20 odd years ago, globalization wasn't, well, maybe not 20 years ago, maybe, let's say 30 years ago. 30 years ago, the world didn't even go and have the internet. You know, you only just had your community. Maybe you knew, you know, a few other people outside of, you know, where you went and hailed from, or where you went and grew up, you know. And the only way that you could go and meet someone or conduct really any business was done via mobile phone, really early days, or through word of mouth. And to go and see that change and that leap from that, you know, that time where things were so much simpler, but nowhere near as broad or wide or expansive as today's world, we need to ensure that no matter where you are in the world, that people do have the same opportunities, you know, despite where they actually go and come from, despite what part of the globe. And what better epicenter to go and have than being in Switzerland and having these two platforms, both Global UnitPay and FNT, combined together to go and create a harmonious ecosystem that goes and meets everyone's needs. Remember, we're not necessarily in mind trying to go and pump the token up. You know, that'll happen as a byproduct. The goal has always gone and been mass adoption, rather than just getting a few institutional investors to go and, you know, get the price up and then cash out and then, you know, go on their merry way to the next crypto project. This is something that's a little bit more sustainable. It's going to go and take a few years, you know, and a lot of work to actually go and reach that borderless solution that goes and meets every single corner of this planet. I think that being that these two platforms are within our ecosystem, within our global portfolio, within our network, these are homegrown projects. This is a huge benefit as co-owners to go and see that we are headed in such a direction that is very similar to even the race through to space travel back in the day. Back in the 60s. This is how exciting the FNT ecosystem is, because everyone is trying to go and find a way to go and combine both financial worlds together to go and create a one-stop solution. Next slide, please. So this is the strategy. We want precise solutions for current and possible future inconveniences that are caused by this transition from institution to digitalization. Modern problems require the responsive solutions, and the pace of the digitized daily life is beyond reachable to the traditional bureaucracy, right? There's a lot of trust in the institution because it's been around for so long, and there's a lot of familiarity with it. But in terms of the pace and how efficient and how fast it can actually all go and move within the digitized realm, the institution cannot go and catch up. You cannot go and compete. So it's almost versus trust versus speed. If I was to go and take a very complex idea and make it really, really simple, we need to go and have regional and national remedies that aren't considered inadequate. Every solution, like I said in the previous slide, has to go and be global. And we need to go and make sure that it's easy to use so that anyone's grandma, grandfather, or even just the first person who's just turned 18 can go and have a look at cryptocurrency for the first time, maybe in a developing world, but they're in that safety bubble where they're not going to go and be taken advantage of or exploited. And that's super, super important. Next slide, please. So far, we've gone and covered the whys and the how. Is everybody feeling okay right now? Get a plus in the chat or any emojis if you guys are feeling very confident and very familiar. And remember, you still do go and have a bit more time to go and get this out to the next person who perhaps has gone and had a conversation with you over the Christmas break that, cryptocurrency, or are you still doing your crypto sort of thing, You have FNT that can seriously go and, I believe, have a massive positive impact on people's lives once it's fully launched. And I say that with hand on heart, not just because, I've been an advocate for both platforms for the last couple of years. But we've gone to cover the why, and we've definitely covered the how. We're going to go and start getting into the what part now. So these are the features. We're going to cover the advantages, and we're also going to cover the benefits as to what these components go and make up this very well-oiled machine. Okay, so the FNT token is the same token that will go and be used basically as fuel. You can go in and put some money in the back office today, and you can go and be given FNT points, which will be redeemable 1-for-1 for the tokens once they are fully developed, which should go and be by Q3, Q4 this year. But stay tuned for updates with FNT and Valentin when the business forums go and kick back off again, because I'm sure that he'll go and have plenty of updates. So this FNT token basically is going to go and work the same way that you go and put fuel into your car. Your car is an amazing machine, but without the petrol within it, it's going to not work at all. Even if you have just a tiny little bit, it's not going to go and work as great as if you were to go and have a half the full tank. Would we agree? Yes? Well, that's the whole thing with utility tokens. And the FNT token, if we remember correctly, was only supposed to go and be a way for services to go and be redeemed as collateral within global unit pay when the whitelist first went and was announced. It is now since evolved to the point where we've got loan to value cash systems, we have membership levels, we have a burning mechanism, which we'll touch on very shortly, and we also go and have a whole range of other ways to go and diversify and add different sort of income streams all within the one platform. This is super, super exciting. And it's these sort of conversations and it's these sort of developments that really go and make the secret sauce as to how we've been so successful over the last 8 years, for Evorich, right? Let's jump on to the next slide. So one of the big things with institution finance is the fact that there's usually an asset management service, whether it's through a broker or whether it's through a financial advisor, you usually have to go external to go and find the experts in order to go and tap into that specific niche of institutional finance. FNT is looking to go and take that same concept with a team and with smart contracts and a smart platform that will be able to go and do it for you. And there will be opportunities to, go and delve into, say, mutual funds or intermediaries or hedge funds, emerging markets, multi-assets. There's a whole range of services and of different sort of niches, sorry, not services, niches, that will go and come as FNT world is actually evolving and developing and growing and expanding. This is a more of a longer term prospect. Once it's fully gone and launched and everything's been integrated, this is where we can actually go and really hammer home on bridging the two worlds together. Okay, next slide, please. So let's get a show of hands, or a little bit of some interaction. Put a plus in the chat if you were on Valentin's webinar last night. Tom, I know that you were. You don't have to this time, but I thought that the way that he went and described tokenomics was fantastic. He kept it very, very simple. Tokenomics is basically telling you exactly what the important parts of the concept and how that's all going to go and work together, and what sort of benefit is that going to go and provide the holder, the user, the staker, or the investor, the trader even. So that I thought that with having tokenomics explained in such a simple manner, it's really drumming home that goal for mass adoption. And that's something that we have to go and take into account when we are actually, showcasing this specific project or any project within the digital markets, is to go and take really complicated concepts and make them simple. So let's have a look at the supply, right? Because I know this is going to be an evergreen and it's going to be on YouTube, breaking the fourth wall. But the total supply is basically to go and say how much of anything within the specific project there is going to go and be. It's very, very simple to understand, but the way it goes and works is that it's inflation proof, right? Once that 2 billion has been used up, then there's no more that will go and exist ever again, right? So yes, Tom, thank you for that. So if I can direct your attention to the pie chart there, you'll go and see that there's 40% put through as a reserve. And what that reserve basically is there for is to provide liquidity so that FNT World can go and facilitate all of the services that they're looking to go and provide within the one platform. With a existing treasury of that actually goes and reduces the total supply for the consumer, for the holder, for the trader, for anyone who's looking to go and invest in FNT to 1.2 billion, which based on everything that I've gone and experienced within the last 4 odd years within cryptocurrency, that's a really healthy number. In terms of supply that goes and says that there's still going to go and be a range of people who will be able to go and access and get their hands on FNT, while also making sure that it's not too saturated, so that you've got that balance between activities happening on the exchanges, and you've also got activity happening within the platform. And maybe there's some people who are just, holding for the sake of holding and not actually, putting it through for staking, which if that goes and meets their financial plan, then that goes and meets their financial plan. We don't go and add any further comment to it, right? So the big thing with that goes and speaks to me is, and I just touched on it a couple of sentences ago, is that the community is in charge. Whoever goes and holds the FNT can go and dictate as to what sort of evolution is that going to go and have. Are we going to go and limit the supply further by reducing the circulating supply with staking and with putting things away for term deposits and interest and the loan to value cash system, or maybe people are selling it on exchanges as well, and then FNT taking the sold FNT token and then burning half of it, which I'll go a little bit more in elaboration in a few slides time on why that's so powerful. But I think above all else is that because we are constantly using the FNT, eventually we're going to go and reduce the circulating supply and even the total supply to a point that goes and rivals a very famous cryptocurrency. And I'm going to go and put it through to, say, Anders. Anders, I'm calling you out, mate. I need your engagement here. Or this can be opened up for anyone, actually. Can you tell me a crypto project that has a low total supply? Anyone can go and tell me. Probably the most famous one. Yes, exactly. BTC. Bitcoin, right? There's only 21 million of Bitcoin in total supply, and it is basically just spread out in little fractions. We have a mechanism and an ecosystem in place that, if nurtured correctly, could go and have a very similar sort of, I suppose, what would you go and call it? Division, you know, not necessarily niche, Tom, more so like where you go and separate it out amongst more party, like who goes and gets the percent of share. Yeah, exactly. I don't know who H double is, but 100%. The mechanisms are in place with all the components made from some of the best minds that, you know, we've gone and seen within our community, and also those who have gone and come externally as well with expertise within this field. We really do go and have something on our hands that is truly, truly, truly special. Next slide, please. So this here basically goes and says a few of the 4 key components that we're going to go and discuss over the next few slides, whether it's the loan to value cash system, the burning mechanism, portfolio management, or the crypto debit cards. Each of these are going to go and be major components of the FNT world ecosystem, and things that you'll be able to go and access and take part and participate in to go and meet the plans based on your, I suppose, sorry, meet the flow of your financial plan. Whichever you've gone and decided is the best course of action, we're giving you the absolute most amount of opportunity and the best opportunities in order to go and facilitate what your goals are. Next slide, please. Sorry, guys, just need to have a little bit of water. Been talking too much. So the loan to value cash system. Who here would go and agree that the last 3 years has been nothing short of crazy? Keep your hand up or put a plus in the chat, or just show your engagement, guys. If you would go and say that it has been very unexpected. Very unexpected. Who would have gone and predicted the crypto winter last year? Who would have gone and predicted the pandemic, you know, in 2020? Who would have gone and predicted the geopolitical conflict that's happening over in the Slavic and the Baltic regions? No, absolutely not, right? 2019 was one of the best years that I think unanimously that anyone went and really had, aside from the bushfires here in Australia, which was absolutely horrible. Aside from that, it was pretty damn good. And I'm sure there are a lot of people in other countries and other parts of the world that would agree the same. Now, one thing that I've gone and really, I suppose, had moments of hopelessness or helplessness was, oh my God, what am I going to go and do if I can't go and work? Or what am I going to go and do if this goes and falls down? You know, and not going and having that option to, you know, back myself up, because I'm with a lot of people. I don't like taking out loans with creditors. I don't like taking out loans with banks. I don't like taking loans out of lenders. You know, I just think that that is an IOU with a lot of interest that I don't necessarily, you know, want to have instant gratification for. The delayed gratification is far more important to me, more than just getting myself out of knots. Yeah, exactly, H double, 100%. So what the loan to value cash system is basically you can go and put through whatever your portfolio size is, or however much you want to go and take out for a little bit of liquidity and a little bit of support with trusted people that get us and that understand the the nature of life, with everyone's best interests at heart, with extremely low interest rates. Now, you can go and put through Bitcoin, you could put through stable coins, I believe, but whatever you go and do in terms of how much you're needing to go and be lent out, and it's based on your digital asset portfolio size, you will be able to ensure that some FNT is included so that the mechanism still goes and works. Yeah. So the loan itself, just to go and clarify, is incredibly low interest, and in some instances won't even go and incur a fee if it's just like, a short amount of time. So I've been told by Alex that it is incredibly minimal, and it's even to the likening of, say, a credit card payment. It's nothing compared to, some interest rates where you go and see like those payday loans, which is 17 to 25%. And don't even get me started on dishonored payments and whatnot. Anyway, there I go and see a laughing emoji, because it is a bit of a joke, that sort of realm. I'll go and answer that question towards the end, but it needs to just go and be said as well that hang on, no, I'll go and cover that in another slide. It's all good. Can we move on to the next one? Thank you. So the FNT memberships, right? This is super, super important because it incentivizes people to actually go and come in, based on what their investment size and investment percentage and belief in FNT basically dictates what sort of benefits they're going to go and get. Obviously, from basic through to platinum, you're going to go and have you'll need to go and have a higher percent of FNT in your portfolio to go and meet that platinum membership. You would then go and qualify for the platinum card, and then you'd go and get higher discounts, better interest rates, better program bonuses compared to the basic, the silver, or the gold, right? And that's based on a percent of FNT towards your portfolio. No numbers exact have actually gone and been announced yet. That will probably go and be happening in the not too distant future, especially with some of the announcements that happened last night, which I'll cover towards the end of today's presentation. But the black membership, and I personally love this analogy, right? The black membership is invitation only. The same way that getting a Bugatti is invitation only. The same way that getting a Rolex is invitation only. Do you see where I'm coming at? So if we are a Swiss fintech platform that's creating a harmonious ecosystem that combines the institutional financial world with the contemporary avant-garde digitalized world, would that not go and say that we are not just an A-grade platform or an A-grade company, but we are like triple S tier, right? This is incredible. So in order to go and qualify for the black membership, that's going to be reserved for very important people, which those very important people will probably go and be bringing in their community, their network, their contacts. They'll be sharing it, because anyone with great influence in this world will want to go and get access to the black membership so that they can go and get the best benefits within the FNT world ecosystem. Next slide, please. So the burn buyback, I Absolutely, it's no secret. I absolutely love this concept, and it probably goes and comes from the fact that, you know, traditionally and historically, we've gone and had certain crypto projects, which I won't go and name, that are very dear to us, go and absolutely tank on exchanges. Now, whether that was anything to go and do with, let's say, the amount of supply, which was probably a factor, compared to you know, the fact that a lot of people went and had better capitalization on that specific token compared to their nation's strength of currency, that probably went and played a factor. But one of the things that could have gone and probably done a world of good to go in and save or stem, you know, the drops and the tanking of those specific tokens was the burn buyback, you know, where people would go and sell on an exchange, and then the company, in this case what FNT World is going to be doing with FNT, to go and take the sold supply and then go and burn up to 50%. So what you're doing is you are reducing the total supply, so that 1.2 billion would then go and start dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping, but also maintaining the market cap, the same market cap. This is incredibly exciting, and this is huge potential for all FNT holders, because technically speaking, you could go about just doing your regular thing. Maybe you've got some FNT, you know, staked and everything. Everything's going very, very cruisy, and you're just getting, you know, the yield benefits, you know, however frequently they actually do go and come out, right? And you forget about FNT because you don't need to worry about it for, you know, a few weeks and whatnot. But you go and check the price at the end of the month, and you see that it's gone and increased. Okay, wow. And that is a super successful, super special and significant component of the FNT World ecosystem, because what it goes and does is it rewards the holder, it rewards the investor. It doesn't necessarily punish the seller because they're getting it at the best price that they possibly can at that specific time, right? But it's not punishing your loyal and your faithful believers in the project that aren't just there for, you know, a quick pump and dump. They are there for the vision. They're there for the mission. They're there to go and see this thing come through. They're wanting to go and see, you know, FNT go and reach the same heights of the top 100 cryptocurrencies. And once again, I'll iterate, there are over 22,000 of them. Who would like to go and see our token, our utility token that we've been able to go and cultivate within our community with our people, go and be in the top 100 cryptocurrencies? Put a plus in the chat. All right, put a love heart emoji if you think that this is possible based on what you've seen today. Awesome. By the way, we're not done yet. We're just getting started. Next slide, please. So we went and touched on the portfolio management, right? This will basically come down into three key parts of portfolio management, right? So instead of actually having to go through multitude of platforms for different sort of operations and services, you'll be able to go and exchange digital assets the same way that you've got with Global Unit Pay, albeit with probably a bit more range. You'll be able to go and borrow and lend digital assets within the community. That's very exciting. You'll also go and have interest and staking rewards all throughout the platform as well. And also what was announced last night is that Valentin and Alex and the think tank with FNT are actually looking into ways to go and have an equal trade, right? So you'd go and have, you know, the top traders within the platform who've got the best returns for X, Y, Z, and then you would be able to just go and copy whatever they go and do based on what you're actually doing. Now, okay, that's a little bit of a slippery slope, but how cool would it be to go and take the whole entire guesswork out of trading based on professional traders who can actually go and come in with the expertise and you can just go and follow? How cool would that be? I was blown away when I went and saw that. I was very, very quiet, just, you know, taking notes upon notes upon notes, waiting for all the nuggets to go and pop out. I know, right? Yeah, that's something that Tom would go and do. I can guarantee he might not go and do the loan to value, but he would absolutely go and do the trade copy function. Yeah, I'm excited. Next slide, please. So let's go and recap, guys, right? So we've got our native token that we now still go and have a few more days left to go and maximize the size of our portfolio before it moves, right? We have an incredible opportunity for those 6 days to ensure that we go and get the most, right? Because what's going to happen is that the remainder FNT is going to be moved over into another platform, a public platform that people will have to go and pay as a minimum of 5,000 USDT in order to get FNTs, right? 5,000. Now, each FNT is going to go and be at 5 cents a pop. That has already been confirmed by Valentin 24 hours ago, almost 24 hours ago, literally exactly 24 hours ago. So good question, Tom. Hasn't, I believe Valentin Witten said that he's still trying to go and suss out which is the best blockchain to go and have FNT, but there'll be updates popping through. So we'll just wait on those sort of questions to go and be answered by the big man himself, as everything's just constantly evolving. But I suppose the best point that I was going to go and say in regards to the native token is the fact that people outside of Evorich could go and they have to go and pay 5,000 USDT minimum in order to go and start their own FNT portfolio. Now, don't get me wrong, 5,000 USDT is going to go and get them a sizable amount of FNT. If my maths goes and doesn't go and escape me, you know, that would be up around maybe the 250,000. My maths might be off, but it's very, very exciting in that respect that we still go and have 6 days to go and invest anywhere between 20 units all the way up to 15,000, depending on what we go and have available right now. So in regards to the native token, we've still got a few more slides to go and actually go through. So I'm not going to go and, you know, touch on too much about that. We're going to be having our own banking services. Valentin said last night, we're not just going for fintech license. We're going to go and have our own banking license as well. So that has been confirmed. We've got lending and borrowing aspects. So to go and provide, you know, extra liquidity in those times that you are needing in, you know, to go and actually have some money at the end of the week rather than week at the end of the money, right? You're going to have earning and staking opportunities, and you're also going to go and be supported and your trust and belief honored by having the burning mechanism in place. I'm seeing a lot of love hearts, guys. That's super, super exciting. I love that you guys go and get the big picture now. Next slide, please. So mutualism at its finest. It's basically the best way to go and describe the FNT world ecosystem, right? We're going to be able to go and increase the value of the token through not just the burning mechanism, but any debit card transactions, FNT goes up. Every crypto transaction, FNT goes up. Every reward that we go and receive throughout the platform, FNT will go up. So effectively, it's hold to win, use to win, spend to win, but most importantly, win to win. And I think everyone here on this presentation and anyone who goes and watches this YouTube presentation and this Facebook presentation as well, you know, even if it's after today, we'll go and agree that over the last 5 years, we really have needed to go and have a big win to win. That's right. That's right, Tom. 2023 is the year for us. Next slide, please. So this is another slide that I want to go and break down in terms of comparison, to go and give you guys a little bit of understanding as to why we've always gone and picked these 4 platforms, you know, to go and emulate off. Now, for anyone who was actually on Valentin's presentation last night, he went and basically broke it down. With crypto.com or Crow, they went and saw a huge capitalization of 24.63 x, times in terms of their native token. So Crow is their native token. They offered at the time premium cards that went anywhere from, I believe it was 300 euros all the way up to 300,000 euros. I believe that was their black card or their platinum card or something to that tune. That went and provided them a lot of interest. That went and provided them with a lot of liquidity and a lot of resources. And they even go and hold 4 expos every single year around the world. That we actually were winners of the best crypto payment provider for 2021 the Crypto.com Expo. That's owned by Crypto.com, who went and did the Kronos token. Now, the big issue, or one of the glaring issues I saw with Crypto.com was the fact that it eventually went and took so much capital in order to even get the cards, which didn't go and really dial into mass adoption. So we went and covered that. With Nexo goes and does a lot of loans the same way that we are doing the loan to value cash system, albeit with a few flaws, but we're taking the best concepts of what Nexo, of what Crow have gone and done in order to go and create a platform. And the same with Compound and Double AVE, right? What these guys were trying to go and do was, go and have, staking rewards and term deposits for stable coins, right? But we all know that there's been, quite a lot of, I suppose, speculation as to what's actually happening with stable coins, especially in the last year, and with everything that's happened with FTX and everything that's gone and happened with a whole range of exchanges throughout this crypto winter. But this is to go and give you guys an idea as to what the peak capitalization for each of these tokens was, what they initially went and came out as. And I can already go and say right now that if you were to go and put funds into getting some FNT right now before the 25th of January 2023, you're already going to go and see a capitalization, because I think at the most expensive, or the least value for money, being the 20 unit package, I think even is at 5.3 cents. We've already gone and seen, as of last night, the Valentine's looking to go and push this through for 8 cents once it goes and hits tier 1 and tier 2 exchanges. So before the thing's even gone and developed, congratulations, guys, you've already gone and seen an increase. That's another win. Would we agree? I'm being a little one, but hey, everything goes and counts for something, right? Awesome. Next slide, please. So this is the whitelist, right? You guys have gone, sorry, 5.8. 5.8 it was for the least value. My mistake. I saw the 3.53 and got a little bit confused. But yes, Marlene, that's exactly right. Initially, it was going to go and be at 5 cents on tier 1 and tier 2 exchanges, but right now it's looking at about 8 cents. And to be perfectly honest with you guys, the year has only just gone and started. This is purely speculation, but we might go and see another increase on top of that as things go and get closer and closer and closer to the platform launch, which is very exciting. Now, I understand, guys, I'm going to go on and level with you. It's just past Christmas. We understand that it goes and takes, 4 to 6 weeks for everyone to go and, get back on top of their finances in the new year. We understand. So if you don't go and have any units in the back office right now, or you don't go and have a whole lot, then maybe don't look necessarily for the one-off packages, right? So these are specifically just for, if you go and invest in 100 units, you just do it the one time, you get 2,833 straight away, right? If you were to go and do, say, 2,000, you'd go and get 77,273 FNT points, which will be then redeemed once everything's been built and developed. Okay, so these are just the one-off packages. Let's jump to the next slide, please. So these are the FNT installment packages. Now, to Valentin's credit, one of the biggest criticisms I went and gave him was the fact that it should have gone and happened in bloody September. But I digress. We have got the installment packages, but this is your opportunity to go and reserve the biggest package that you possibly can, to go and have the biggest portfolio that you possibly can, right? If you were to go and look at the 500 package in the previous slide, right? I believe that was maybe 17,000 perhaps, around about that mark, 17 and a half. What you could essentially go and do is you could go and break down that 500, right? And go and say, well, actually, I'm going to go and do 3 installments of 200 units in order to go and get a slightly smaller amount of that 17, right? I don't know why everyone's laughing, but all right. But you guys get the picture. This is the time for you to go and put in some units in order to go and capitalize over the next 3 months or 2 months or 4 months or 5 months, whatever package that you're actually trying to go and secure for yourself. But this basically goes and takes it out of the total supply that is going to be reserved for the next sale component, the next sales stage, the next lot of investors. So we can go and reserve it at the absolute best price compared to even these guys, the next people who go and get to look after FNT and nurture it and have the same sort of belief that we've gone and had. And mind you, we've been able to go and raise, I think it's been a tick over 2.6 million now. That's massive. That is incredible for what 2022 was for us. That is insane. So we've gone and absolutely smashed it out of the park. And keep in mind, guys, that the initial budget, or I suppose the initial supply that was allocated was to the value of 5 million. That's crazy. So you guys have to go and congratulate yourself. I'm congratulating myself because I went and invested in some FNTs. But guys, we've gone and rallied together as a community and showed that together, chipping in a little bit goes and makes a world of difference. And I can guarantee you that with what we've been able to go and achieve in the last 6 months, that we will be able to go and see some huge developments within FNT and global unit pay. Next slide, please. So we've gone and already touched on this. You literally have 6 days, 5 after today. And for Australia, I'm sorry guys, but we've got 5 basically now. I don't expect Australians to go and be on this call, to be perfectly honest. It's just me that's the crazy one. But time is of the essence. So if you do have a spare, X amount of funds in a exchange or in a wallet that you're like, you know what, this particular token's not doing it for me, I'm going to go and shift it over to go and get some FNTs, then this is the time to go and do so, because no one ever from now until forever and a day will be able to go and get FNT at a better price than what we do go and have. Would we agree, guys? Yes? Awesome. Next slide, please. Yes, there's going to be a new update as well to the FNT World website. So look out for the updates. If you guys aren't on the Telegram, please do go and jump on. It's one of the most positive crypto communities I have ever gone and seen. I'm active in it at times. Valentin is, same with Alex. Everyone who's gone and played a part in FNT in terms of marketing, promotion, knows where everything's gone and headed. Even some of our global top leaders are actually in that Telegram, adding value to the project so that those who are looking at it for the first time can go and get the best impression that they're in the right place and that they've got a community that's got their back. Okay, so I'm looking forward to the next updated to the website, and I know that there's going to probably go and be some really cool, innovative features that is going to go and just add more aesthetic value to what we have our hands on. Next slide, please. And yes, the events that have gone and happened this week. Now, keep in mind that Valentin was supposed to go and do this announcement last Friday. So we've already gone and had the Zurich Summit, what would you go and say, Expo. That was a huge success. I went and got some glowing feedback from Valentin in terms of some people that he went to go and meet, which was very, very exciting. And he even went and shared a little bit last night. So if you guys haven't watched his presentation, it is on YouTube. Towards the very end, he goes through this, which is super cool, because what it means is that the big time players are actually getting exposed to us. They are actually finding out who we are. There's an old saying that, you know, I was taught as a young boy, that it's not what you know in this world, it's who you know that determines your success. And really, it doesn't matter how good what we have our hands on actually is in the grand scheme of things. If we don't have the right people to go and back us, then it's not going to go and be as fast development, you know, within the world. And of course, Valentin's going over to, or he should be in Davos already for a different expo, a different sort of event. So don't stress if you go and see Davos. I know the significance of Davos. All right, just he's there for the crypto summit, but no doubt there will probably go and be some big time people who are actually there as well, who get to actually go and network and see the value of what FNT goes and provides. So next slide, please. So the question is, guys, what are you waiting for? If you haven't gone and registered yourself for a global unit pay account, register yourself a global unit pay. If you guys are waiting to go and be verified again, go through the KYC process. That was completely overhauled towards the end of last year, which has made it super, super simple and a lot more lenient so that we can go and achieve that mass adoption, which is super, super exciting. If you guys haven't got yourself some FNT, or if you do have units in the back office, then get as much as you possibly can, I guess is the best thing that I can go and say. It's no longer about raising the funds for FNT. I think we've gone and we can agree that we've gone and done an absolute surplus and an absolute standout job for the crowdfunding aspect or the crowd investing aspect. But now it's about you getting the best possible circumstance and benefits out of this project, rather than, you know, being the one who went and said, no, I'm not going to go and invest in this right now. I'm going to go and wait until it goes and performs on the exchanges or XYZ, right? There could go and be a serious capitalization that you might actually go and kick yourself. And if we're going to go and talk about, you know, FOMO, I guess this is, you know, me saying it from a community partner to the rest of the community, not so much as a former project manager. This looks really like a goer, and I have full faith in the guys who are going to go and take the FNT project into the next stage of development and then out into the global market to ensure that this one is something we look back on and say, wow, I'm so glad that Valentin had that conversation with Alex. Will we agree? I know Marlene would. Marlene's been absolutely pumping me with questions about FNT all through last year and even through this year, getting some, you know, some opportunities to go and step up. So guys, let's go to the next slide, if that's okay. Ah, perfect. Yeah, finished up. All right. Well, I will go and dedicate a few minutes to go through. Okay, so Trinidad. First question, are we going to the public on the 26th? Yes and no. It's a semi-public platform, and Valentin and Alex will be providing us with an update so that if, you know, you do have a spare 5,000 USDT in the not too distant future, yeah, sure. But I ask, if you are going to go and invest in the future, why would you not go and do it now and capitalize on the installment packages? So yes, it is going to public, but semi-public. I hope that goes and helps. World Crew Open Market. This is probably not the best I suppose, webinar for it, because that's involving the security token. I would probably go and reserve those sort of questions for, you know, the next Stobox or the next presentation that Armand and Miller actually go and provide in terms of an update, Mr. or Miss Anonymous Attendee. Okay, so first of all, we appreciate you guys with all these presentations. My question is about the loan to value will be used from our profits. So it'll basically be a combination of your crypto and your fiat portfolio that is held within FNT that determines what your, I suppose, pre-approval limits would go and be, right? So let's say, for example, you go and hold, say, 20,000 on FNT. That's a combination of your FNT part of the portfolio, some crypto in your portfolio, and also the fiat in your portfolio, and you want to go and get approved for, say, I don't know, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, whichever, right? It would be based on the size of your entire wealth within the platform. But once again, guys, all of these technical parameters and conditions will be released at a later date. They haven't yet been launched just yet. So we still do go and have 11 full months before we would be expecting the launch. But this is super, super exciting that you guys are asking these sort of questions because they will go and be answered, you know, in the next FNT dedicated webinar for sure. Registration in Global UnitPay is a must now. It kind of is. I mean, Global UnitPay is probably the preferred and the most dominant on-ramp and off-ramp of funds between, you know, our ecosystem, all of its subsidiary projects, and then of course with, you know, your personal platform, right? So it is important to go and have a Global UnitPay registration. If in the past you've gone and heard, I know that fees were an issue through last year, but they have since gone and been modified ever so gradually. So the crypto exchange fee has gone and been reduced. The crypto receiving fee has gone and been reduced. You know, TRX has gone and been an absolute game changer in the way of topping up wallets from cryptocurrency. If you guys haven't gone and done that, then absolutely do so. Takes literally 2 minutes and you'll end up saving yourself so many funds in terms of receiving fees and sending fees and all that jazz. So yeah, if you haven't gone and done a Global UnitPay account, I encourage you to go and give it another shot, just because of all the changes that happened all through last year, you know, ever so slowly, but because there wasn't that big dramatic overhaul where we went and said, we did this, 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 we did this. It made it a little bit, I suppose, difficult to go and follow the updates, because it was done like almost one every month and every month, and so on and so forth. I hope that answers the question. Now, there was a couple of questions in the chat. Yeah, yeah, Tom, it finished the other day, mate. Don't stress. But yes, that specific one. Yes, Marlene, from 5 cents all the way up to 8 cents. I'm just in your chat right now, guys. Okay, so will the FNT be built on our blockchain? That's a very good question. That would be something that Valentin and Alex still need to go and suss out. They haven't yet confirmed that it'll be on the crypto unit. They might be looking at a couple of other ones as well. But win, lose, or draw, let's understand that Valentin doesn't go and make any rash decisions. He goes and takes into account pretty much every single possible option to go and find the absolute best solution. It's the way that he was trained, you know, in when he was studying investments. That's the way that he learned when he was in the Strategic Council and the Investment Council. And that's also the way that, you know, he went and taught me, is to go and look at things from, you know, every single possibility, and then go and do risk assessment and, you know, pros and cons for each, so that you can go and find the right one. So whichever it's going to go and be, let's just go and have faith that he knows what he is doing, because he's had such an extensive history of, pretty good performance, I would go and say. Will it be possible to have your crypto on a ledger or operating with FNT? Good question, Anders. Maybe, I would imagine so. There was a discussion, there was an update on the FNT Telegram a few months ago about the DLT, which is pretty exciting. I did a little bit of research into it, but I believe that Valentin would be able to go and elaborate a little bit more on DLT and the benefits of that, alongside with Alex. And I know that they'll be looking to go and do another big update presentation once the merger has gone and happened with all the FNT whitelist into the next stage. And then, of course, once the new website has gone and been built and developed. All right. I hope that goes and answers everybody's question, guys. Thank you so much for your attendance and your time and your attention and your involvement and your engagement, not just for tonight, but for the last 3 months that Annette and I have been doing this. I know I say it frequently, but you guys go and make this project so successful. Such a crucial component in how powerful the CI in MLCI really is, that we've been able to go and create something that is so promising and so exciting. And I'm confident, fully confident, that will go and bring a lot of wealth to a lot of people, for those who have gone and been on these presentations and see the big picture and the belief in where we are and where we're headed. So once again, thank you so much. We will be doing Tuesday as the final reminder presentation. It might be this one again, it might not. It might go and have a little bit of a zhuzh up over the weekend. I'm not too sure. But once again, guys, thanks again. Have a great evening, great day, great morning, wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you on Tuesday. Thank you.